Okay, it says I'm live.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Ethernet just fell out.
You need that. And that may have killed your live stream, unless you are actually connected to.
Well, maybe it was on via Wi-Fi.
That's why it was probably Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Are you?
Okay.
Does it show connected to Wi-Fi?
Yes.
All right. Well, you're connected.
Okay. All right, we're back. And we're now doing our third tune by ear, which is crazy. All right. And let me just position this a little better. Okay, I guess that'll do it. Okay, we were doing Sleep On Till Day, Kachel Gula, a sky, air from the Isle of Skye, from the Gow Repository number 3. So the phrase we just learned was this one. Let's play that. And the second phrase starts the same but ends in A minor. Good? Yeah. And the third phrase is very similar to the first. The only differences are the pickup note. Instead of just being an A, it's and at the ending it's simple. So the last phrase with the let's do all three. Let's do all for 3 phrases. So the first time, simple pickup note, but a little slightly fancier ending. The second time, the ending is minor, and then the third time, fancier pickup notes and simple ending. Okay, here we go. And that's the whole first half. Okay, shall we go on?
Yeah.
Okay. Second half, go up high. Again. Okay, that's half of that 4-bar phrase. The second half of this phrase is what makes me think, yeah, well, this really could be a really old tune, because this is a characteristic of some 1600s Scottish tunes. It goes from C so, for example, Flowers of the Forest, which is a tune from the late 1500s, has that feature in it, that kind of key change thing. So we just had, and our pickup notes are starting right there at G, B flat, phrase put together. Want to do that again?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you mind playing it just by yourself one time?
Next phrase, the pickup note's different. So instead of it's now it's not heading to that B flat. So here's what it does that's different. And the ending. So it's the same signature phrase that we had twice in the A part. A little fancier with the ending. It's just not, it's not the plain version. So the whole last phrase. Okay. How are we doing here with our tech?
I mean,
Good?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're running, you're presumably
It's
running.
still running, and you're checking the other system just to see if we can
I
run it in
am
parallel.
troubleshooting the greater problem for future.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay.
It
but-
does look like you are, in fact, I don't know why that moved on to that particular video.
All right. So I'm going to put together the B part for us. Do you want to hear it?
Yes.
Put together first? Okay. Let's try it. main thing about the middle part, this is the really unresolved one. Everything else comes to some kind of cadence or semi-cadence. And here. The main thing that throws you for a loop is that it's heading for the E instead of everybody thinks it's going for a C, and it's not. Otherwise, it's really similar to that first phrase. That is the same with a simpler pickup. First time, it's, and here it's. Let's add the bars before it. Okay. Let's try putting together the B part. Again. Okay, now we all need to do, all we need to do is bring it together with the other half of the tune. You can see why I didn't teach this as the easy tune, even though it's slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not really all that standard. Despite the fact that it has a fair amount of internal repetition and the phrases are regular 4-bar phrases, it's still, the whole sum total is, wow, this is kind of mind-blowing rather than straightforward. Give me roaring jelly. Right? More straightforward tune. Okay, so from the beginning. Da, 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 dee, da, 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 da. B part. Unresolved. And that's the tune. You made it. Okay, is everybody's brain officially full?
Yeah.
Are we ready to read some sheet music instead? Yes. Okay. So if anybody is actually watching this live stream, this is our experiment for going to a hybrid version of the workshop. And look out next month for announcements of how you can be part of the in-person portion of the workshop, if that is your desire. It will involve signing up in advance and agreeing to some questions regarding wearing masks and vaccination. And so,
make copies.
and distancing, and yeah, we have actual paper copies to hand out to the people who are here, or
I was gonna print my own copy, but then my printer's
here's one
not
for
working,
Pete.
so.
Let's hand it back to Pete.
I already have one.
You already got one, wow. So the music, of course, is available online at Fiddle Club. You can download it from a link that's on the front page, the home page right now, and later on it'll be available through the members section. So you can get your sheet music that way. If you don't have previous sheet music from this membership year, which so far is just October, November, you can go to the members area and print those out for yourself. If you are having trouble printing because you can't access the members area, let me encourage you to be a member, because that will give you access to the members area and you can get your printouts. If you're a person who really vastly prefers to have paper printouts, you can opt in for having them mailed to you periodically. All right, we're on book 29. Wow, 29 years of Fiddle Club workshops every month from October through May. It's amazing. We've done well over 1,000 tunes. In fact, I think we're well over 2,000 tunes now. Is that right? Anybody remember? Yeah.
Yeah, we had the 2000 celebration
Yeah, we had the 2,000.
before COVID, actually.
Yep. So we're probably about 2,200 or 2,300 by now. All right. So on page 5, we have probably one of the earliest tunes, although I'm going to make a case for one of the others being even older. But this is one of the earliest tunes that we can document when it was first published. Up in the Morning Early has other titles. Probably the most well-known is Juice of Barley, and it was published in the first Playford country dance book, which was published in 1651. And it has other names, Cold and Raw, Stingo, and obviously Up in the Morning Early, which is how it's known mostly in Scotland. In 1688, it was published as a new Scottish song set to this tune with words by Thomas Durfee. Thomas Durfee is famous. He lived 1653 to 1723, and he's famous for publishing a lot of the these early tunes with their words. And his book was called Pills to Purge Melancholy, which is just kind of like this funny image that I guess appealed to the mindset of the time. I can't think of. The image it brings to my mind is much less. Let's not go there, okay?
An opioid.
Yeah, right. Anyway, his whole idea though was you played these tunes and had a jolly good time, or sung them, since he was into the words. So, Juice of Barley. Oh, I see a mistake. There's always one. I better mark it down. So the mistake is that the B part doesn't get repeated. Okay, so it is. It's a 16-bar tune. I don't have a pencil. Yeah. So 4 bars repeated in the A part, and then 8 bars not repeated in the B part. I'm sure that somebody wants to repeat them somewhere. But anyway, here's how it goes. So you kind of play this as a jig, and it is used for Scottish country dance, which is a jig. And it would be played a little faster than I just did it. But the Gows included it in the early section of their repository, which is the listening tunes. So I think it's actually marked to be played slowish there. All right, let's try it. The key as well as the chord progression all indicate 1600s for this tune. Okay, because we took so long with tech stuff, I'm going to move right along because I have enough tunes here that we're going to have to like push it through for not running too long. Okay, the Highland President. Couple of things about this one. So George Jenkins was kind of a contemporary of Neil Gow, and he there are a couple of tunes by George Jenkins and one written for George Jenkins by the Gows in the Gow collections and repositories. So I got curious who was this George Jenkins guy, and long ago when I spent a day or two at the National Library of Scotland, I had access to George Jenkins' collection, and I was like, oh, wow, he wrote his own book. I'm so excited. And I got, in those days, you had to order like a microfilm and print it out and stuff like that. So I ordered a microfilm of George Jenkins. And then I read through the George Jenkins collection, every tune, and it was like, one throwaway tune after another. And I was like, why do these tunes stink? They're all cliche. They're all just like utterly predictable. Nothing exciting about any one of them. And then not too long after that, I was teaching a dance class, a Scottish country dance class, and I was playing for my own teaching. And I was like, everybody do this, that, and the other. Ready? And then I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm playing. I didn't even think of what tune. And I made one up on the spot. And then I thought afterwards, that sounds just like a George Jenkins. and so I realized what it was. George Jenkins was a dancing master. He was very well known and very well thought of in like the high society. They'd have him come to their house and teach the children of the house how to do the dancing, and he would play fiddle while he taught. So he was improvising. Yeah, so he was just improvising these tunes and then naming them after the people whose house he was in. So, he'd be saying, okay, children, ready, and he'd just play nonsense stuff. And then the lady of the house would say, oh, what was that, Mr. Jenkins? Oh, it's the Honorable Mrs. So-and-so's reel. Flatter, flatter. And so
then he wrote it down.
Yeah, and then he wrote them down. So the difference is that instead of just saying, oh, that's a throwaway tune, he's like, I'll write that in my collection, and now all of my clients will pay for this book. And so he had a good thing going. He really was a talented man, but more as a performer and teacher, and the fact that he could dance and play at the same time. And not only that, but teach dance steps while doing them and playing the fiddle. I mean, he must have been pretty amazing. But his tunes are not that exciting. But this is probably his very best tune. And the Gows included it in the book. And you see, that's why I was so excited to find the George Jenkins collection, because I had seen this one in Gow, and I thought, oh, all his tunes must be this good. This is the best one. So this is truly the best George Jenkins tune. And what is the Highland President? So the Highland Society of London was founded in 1778. This is long enough after the 1745 Jacobite Rising that people are starting to kind of redress the extreme reaction to that. Because at the end of the Jacobite Rising, there are all these penal laws put into place. You can't wear Highland clothes. You can't play Highland music. You can't carry Highland arms, especially carrying the Highland arms. But, you know, and so the Highland Society of London was founded in 1778, and one of the first things they did was lobby to repeal some of the penal acts, and then it suddenly became in vogue to wear Highland clothes and to celebrate Highland culture. And they still exist. They are still a charitable society that promotes Highland culture, including literature, music, and dance. Okay, so the Highland president was the president of this Highland Society. The first president was Simon Fraser, General Simon Fraser of Lovat, who, from our perspective, fought in the French and Indian War and also at Saratoga on the British side.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So here's the tune. Quite fancy, right? Okay, let's go for it. It's a slow Strathspey, right? It's never meant to be played fast. How slow do you want to take it?
Very.
Very slow. More? No. Okay.
It's
Enough
part
of
of
that.
arpeggio practice.
It is. It is. I mean,
And we're short on time.
yeah, let's moving right along. So, we already learned Maids of Isla by ear, so we'll move right to Amblery. And originally, I had a Strathspey in G to go with Amblery. And I was all excited for it. And then something about it was familiar. And I was like, and then I looked it up, and it was stolen. So I was going to include it. The Gows, they called it Johnny Pringle. Johnny Pringle was another contemporary fiddler. He also has his own book of music. And it sounded like, oh, that's really cool. Then I had a hunch. So I looked in William Marshall's collection and I found the tune. And it says with a note, Mr. Gow and others have published this tune, but have not mentioned Mr. Marshall as the composer and have changed the original name to Johnny Pringle. And I thought, oh God, I cannot present it as Johnny Pringle, having read what Marshall said about it.
So what did Marshall do?
So the real
Was
name,
it in G though?
yeah, it was in G. It was Miss Jane Stewart Strathspey, Miss Jane Stewart of Pitty Bay. He wrote tunes for all the Pitty Bay family. Stuart's pretty big. So I just said, okay, well, we won't have that tune. Because I'm not going to present a version that doesn't give Marshall credit for his work. But Amblery, that's traditional. We don't know who composed it. The Gows didn't know who composed it, so we're safe. So this is a dandy reel. It became more popular. Again, it's one of those tunes that the Gows kind of found floating around, put it in their repository, and then it became popular. So throughout the 19th century, you see it in Lowe's collection and Kerr's collection and the Alpha collection. And so it got a lot of momentum from being put in Gow. Here's how it sounds. Okay, let's try it slowly.
That's really nice.
Yeah, isn't that fun? I like that one. There's a lot of these almost modal tunes in Gow. You know, it's almost like it's its own category of Gow tune. The tune that sounds modal but isn't actually. You know, because there's B majors and B naturals and B minors, and there's F sharps and F naturals. So, all right. We already did Roaring Jelly, so we're going to move right on to the next page. The Miller of D. So in Gow, this is another one that they say is very old. That part I really believe. They also say it's a harp tune. That part I don't quite believe because I don't know about you, but how many harp players do you know who love to play in 3 flats? No. So either the harp players play it in a different key or they specially tune their harps to flat keys just to play this. However, the tune itself, this is one of those ballad tunes. You remember last year we had the Borders tunes, and one of the tunes was a ballad tune, Lay the Bent to the Bonnie Broom. And it kind of had like this aspect to it. It's almost like little bits that help the ballad move forward, where they repeat stuff every verse and things like that. So this has a bit of that feel. The chords are one of the classic chord progressions. So it's like C minor G, C minor G, C minor G, C minor, you know. And then in the B part, it goes into the relative major for a bit, and then gets back to that C minor G thing. So that's a really standard chord progression for really early tunes. So the fact that they're saying very old, that I totally believe, because this is that kind of thing. Also, it's called the Miller of D, but this tune is the basis of so many songs, which is the case with really old tunes. It's just like, okay, we don't remember the old words Granny used to sing to it, but we can remember the tune and we'll make up our own words. And that goes on for centuries, so that you end up with like 6 different songs sung to the same, traditional songs sung to the same music.
So can I ask about the harp? So
Yeah.
we're talking like a lap harp.
Yeah,
Is it lever or not lever?
not lever.
So you're kind of locked in, and it's hard to retune it. And
There were harps in the period, and Artival actually makes reproductions one that would have been a gut-strung continental style harp. They have a bar underneath the tuning pegs, and so you could reach up with one hand, press the string against the bar, and that will bring the string up to semitone.
Now,
So it's kind of like a manual lever, but it's not a lever. It's just like a fret.
all right. And then here's the thing, is that actually this tune is consistent. So even though it's in 3 flats, which is B, E, and A flat, all of the A's are natural. All of the B's are natural. Except there's a B flat chord. And then all of the E's are flat. So there's consistency here. Let's see, where did this come from? How did the Gows get excited about this? So it was included in a ballad opera, which was a popular musical form in Britain. And the most famous one of those is the Beggar's Opera. There's no original music in the Beggar's Opera. It's all pop songs of the time, set with words that suit the action of the story. So there was the next most popular one after the Beggar's Opera was probably Love in a Village, which you kind of have to be into that stuff to know that one. But you see it referenced in all kinds of books afterwards, so it was obviously a big hit. I mean, it was like the Broadway musical hit of its time. And so that was 1762. And in books 40 years later, you're still seeing references. This was the popular song in ballad, the Love in a Village. And everybody's like, ooh, Love in a Village, It's kind of like the reaction of, oh, it was an Elvis song, or Beatles, something like that, right? So, and then I found one other reference about this, which is that this is the same tune as the Welsh harp tune called, Llywdaw. Anybody who speaks Welsh? Clwyddo? Clwyddo, something like that.
Okay.
God, I that's my fake Welsh. My Welsh friend will be shaking her head. So I looked up somebody playing that, Robin Hugh Bowen. You can't find a better Welsh harp player than him. And his version is nothing like this. Nothing, not even close. So I'm not even sure that is valid. However, it was stated quite authoritatively in one of these sources. There are always these people who try to find things related to other than it's in a minor key. So, however, I myself have heard a totally different ballad that has nothing to do with the Miller of D or anybody else. It's actually a whaling song from the Pacific Ocean that uses this version of this tune. And that was how I first knew this tune. So to find it in Gow in this slightly different form with this history behind it is like, oh, that's cool. Okay, enough talk. Here's the tune. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, because it's used like all over. It's been recycled for
And
everything.
it does sound like a seesaw.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah,
song.
you kind of got like go with it for a C song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's play it. Once more. So Pete knows some words to that.
Rolling down to Old Maui,
Rolling
yeah.
down to Old Maui.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is a shanty, or it did become one at
It
some point.
became one. Right. This is an older version.
Yes. There were some
Because
slight differences. But
yes.
yeah, I'm sitting here trying to figure out our camera problems, and I'm like, wait.
Right. I mean, your ears perk up. I know that. Okay. Well, we're getting close to the end of things here. A few more tunes. So we have a tune called The Feet Washing. Okay. So here's one thing I learned studying some. I took a course in Scottish Gaelic in college, and it was mainly for graduate students in Celtic studies. And so instead, like they taught us all, here's all you need to know about Scottish Gaelic grammar in like 2 weeks. And now we're going to read these texts. And we spent the rest of the semester translating poems and ballads and stuff like that. So from my perspective, it was actually really cool. But it was. Did they teach us to speak it?
Yeah.
No, they were teaching us to be scholars of Scottish
Oh,
Gaelic.
wow.
You know, that was the point of. Yeah, but I didn't learn how to say things like, "Where is the bathroom?" or "Hi, how are you?" But I did know how to say, "He smote the foe with his mighty sword." I knew that. So, yes. Anyway. So in that course, reading these sort of ancient Gaelic stuff, some of the things that came up were kind of interesting, like the fact that magical objects in these stories were things like combs and mirrors, indicating that to the people of the time, whoever originated these ballads, combs and mirrors were precious objects. I mean, if it was like just the plastic pocket comb that you pick up every day to comb your hair, you wouldn't make it magic. It would just be like, that's a toothbrush, right? But for these people, so some of these things were rare. So I'm like, why is there a tune called The Feet Washing? Is it because that was rare? And then you're sort of like, I hope not. But so then I viewed this as being worth looking into, and then I kind of, something was niggling in my mind. So I have this book, The Scottish Wedding, Wooed and Married in Oz, an exploration of Scottish wedding customs. And one of the things that was a Scottish wedding custom is the feet washing. So either on the contract night when they betroth, or on the night before the wedding, At the bride or bridegroom's parents' home, a group of friends and relatives would gather. They'd have food, and there was a lot of teasing and merriment. And one of the big parts of featured events was the feet washing of the bridegroom. This entailed removing the bridegroom's shoes and stockings, plunging his feet in water, smearing them with soot or shoe blacking. And it would seem that depended on where you were, whether this was just a matter of soap or mixtures of black lead and treacle. The victim of this always struggled despite his efforts in the process. It was always carried out very thoroughly. So it seems to have been a survival of an ancient custom. The ancient custom was the soot was supposed to possess magical virtues connected with the hearth and the fire. It was supposed to neutralize the dangers of contact. And to this day in Scotland, some people carry on this custom in a certain form. So they'll have a ritual foot washing on stag night. And so, your bachelor party might include feet washing in Scotland on account of this ancient custom. So, feet washing. This tune is one of those that has like minor variations. I would never teach this by ear because it's like almost the same, except this note's different, and then almost the same, but that note's different, and then it's really repetitive, so you can't figure out where you are. But here's how it goes. A part's supposed to be repeated. There's supposed to be a repeat sign. Another thing, I always discover what I have to fix later. Okay, so let's try playing this tune. And by the way, there's also a feet washing tune in Simon Fraser's collection, but it is a reel and it's a completely different tune. So maybe what tune you got your feet washed to?
Which is
Very-
the treacle one.
Yeah, from one place to another, right? Maybe it depends whether it's treacle or not, or just soap. Yep. Some customs are kind of strange, right? So that's a lively one. All right, let's get to our final few tunes. We have a couple of tunes named for
Yay.
mountains in Scotland.
Yeah.
Ben
Nevis and Ben Lomond.
Ben Nevis and Ben Lomond. Anybody have a favorite mountain in Scotland? Is that your favorite
Both of
mountain?
those are really good.
They are really good. I've got pictures of them.
I do too.
So let me show you some
I climbed Ben
pictures.
Nevis.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow. That is the tallest mountain in all of Great Britain.
Oh.
So tall mountains in Scotland or in England. 4,413 feet. Yeah. It's not that big. But so
Consider how close it is to the ocean, though.
Oh, yeah.
Over there.
and considering these are
Yes.
really ancient mountains, these are the same geologically speaking, the same age as the Appalachian Mountains, and we don't have any Appalachian Mountains that are much taller than that ourselves.
Not just the same age, but they're part of the same range.
Right, they're the same range. When the Atlantic Ocean was closed, they were the same range, and when the Atlantic Ocean opened up again, so this is a really long time ago. Part of it went to Scotland, and part of it went to Cape Breton, which is why geologically they are actually really closely linked, and it's kind of funny that culturally they are as well. So here's a picture for the camera of Ben Nevis, and then
And on a clear day, you can see the Hebrides from Ben Nevis.
yeah, it really is a great viewpoint if you're
Unfortunately, it was all clouded. closed in when we went.
yeah, and when it's this is a summertime photo, but at other seasons of the year, this mountain is often snow-capped, which, for a 4,000-foot mountain to be snow-capped is actually kind of cool. Yeah. And I have further things to say. Location is handy map.
Oh.
That is at the western end of the Great Glen, and it's right near Fort William. And it is, in fact, the western end of the Grampian Range of mountains,
Oh, okay.
of which it is the tallest. And the Grampians are among the tallest mountains in Scotland. And there are a number of notable Grampian mountains. Anyway, here is the tune. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting that this tune, with its geological connection to Cape Breton, has a lot of features that are found in Cape Breton Strathspey. I think that's just happenstance. But that business of that's such a Cape Breton Strathspey feature. What does Ben Nevis mean? Nevis, I've heard more than one theory, but it may come from the root word for cloud. So it's mountain with its head in the clouds, with its peak in the clouds. Also, it could come from a word for snow.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. So either one of them makes sense. All right, let's play it. All right, one more tune, one more mountain. So the last tune is Ben Lomond. Anybody been to Ben Lomond?
Well, I walked past it.
Yeah, this is Ben Lomond. I'll show it to the camera here. Ben Lomond, and of course, in front of it is Loch Lomond.
Yeah.
So this is one of the most famous mountains of all, just because of that song. Because if you go to the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond, you see this.
And Ben Lomond is mentioned in one of the verses.
It is.
Apparently, it has steep, steep sides.
Yes, it does.
It does. It does. And I have oh yeah. Anyway, those are the words, but we don't need that. Anyway, one side of it is very cliffy. I don't think it's the side that's pictured in this particular photo.
So I was gonna say, I hiked the West Highland Way, which goes along Loch Lomond, and there is literally a low trail and a high trail. And I remember we walked past a road that goes up Ben Lomond, and it said something like some ridiculous grade, like 10% grade or something like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not taking a car up that way.
I also read about there's more than one hiking trail, and apparently there's like the tourist trail, which is basically like this gentle upslope. Just walk on it, practically paved path, bring your stroller, not quite, but. And then there's another one that's like, hey, climb the cliff, serious mountaineers only, and there's one that's in between. So you can get the high road, the low road, and the sort of in-between road. Anyway, let's play, I'll play for you the Ben Lomond Strathspey. You can hear it. Two nice mountain tunes. Run nicely one to the other. Let's play Ben Lomond. Shall we go over our ear tunes while we're at it? And that would be Sleep On Till Day. And then our other ear tunes were Made of Isla and Roaring Jelly. So let's just work backwards. right, well, that's it for our workshop for this month. And we hope that you'll join us this evening for the jam, which will start at 6:30, I think. Is that
Yes.
correct?
I believe it's 6:30, yes.
Yeah, so in just about an hour. And so you'll find the link on the Fiddle Club webpage, on the homepage right up front.
This time
And-
it's on Teams.
And it is on Teams rather than on Zoom. And I think it's also going to be on YouTube.
It will be also on YouTube.
So YouTube or on Teams. And you can send us email or chat in YouTube with requests for tunes that will play. So see you then. And I hope you enjoyed the workshop, all of you watching right now.
No one was watching the third
One
snake.
signed
That was
in.
me.
Yep. That's right.
Okay, so
All right.
here's what happens. These are made in Europe. Actually, they're designed in Europe, but they are made up presumably somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And there are different tariffs for camcorders than there are for cameras. So to make sure that these don't get listed as camcorders, they have a 30-minute hard recording limit on them.
Oh.
So a DSLR, and it's all of them. It is an industry standard.
Wow.
DSLR cannot record for more than 30 minutes. So what happens is the YouTube Studio detects no video signal, thinks it's disconnected, and disables the stream. There are workarounds, I've realized. One of them is probably to do it through OBS and Teams. So if you are sending your video to another software, which will continue to have other things in it, then that will still go to YouTube. So we may need to put an extra, and that may be why a lot of people use OBS, to have an extra layer of security in case the camera goes down. It doesn't kill their stream.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a hard limitation we cannot get around. And even with the OBS thing, someone's going to have to come and push that button every 30 minutes. That said, I turned off the automatic focus because it had already focused in on you, and the square went away fine.
Okay.
Lesson. And the third thing I found is for our application, what might be more useful is a camcorder.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was literally about to buy a Canon R800 camcorder. There was literally one at Amazon, and it was purchased during the time that I was looking things up to see if it would work.
Oh man.
And the reason for this is because of COVID, everyone has decided that they are a live streamer. And so it is almost impossible to get live stream cameras.
Mhm.
So,
And there might be some supply chain issues.
and there's some
with it.
supply. Well, this problem, they were having this problem early in the lockdown,
Yeah.
and it's never been resolved. And of course, there's one chip factory, and that's in Taiwan. And so if things go bad there, it's not the chips, it's the board, the substrate that they put the chips on is made at one factory in Taiwan.
Mhm.
And they're trying to build a factory here in the U.S. So, future work, I think I'm going to have to, or whoever's going to do this in their laptop is going to have to run through OBS and, run through OBS and Teams, and maybe a Teams call that has no one else in it, or something like that. They'll go through another piece of software so that YouTube doesn't see that as an interruption.
Well, is there a reason why we have to use this camera?
No, I would like to use a superior camera to a laptop, and I like to use one that can actually mount to a tripod rather than on